Hey, what is up guys, it's Galaxy Tech here, coming at you guys today with a new Cyber Dragon deck profile for post Cybernetic Horizon. I'll get straight into it because, yeah, if you've looked back on any of my old videos or if you've been subscribed for a while, you'll know that Cyber Dragons is a deck that I like a lot. It's my favourite deck, in fact. So yeah, I've been very hyped for this for a while, and yeah, I'm quite excited to profile this deck. As you can see, I haven't got all the stuff from the sneak peek because, like, for instance, no one pulled Ziga at all, and only one Cyber Dragon Hertz got pulled, so I've got that. Same with Rev System. But yeah, so we start off with the standard 3 Cyber Dragon. This is, don't need to explain this, it's just, you just drop it and it's like the main play of the deck, really. Then we got 3 copies of Cyber Dragon Core, which is arguably the best card in the deck because it searches out everything else. It searches Rev System, it searches Emergency Cyber, it searches Cyber Repair Plant, and it searches Cybernetic Overflow as well. So yeah, 3 of those. You can also banish it from grave and get any Cyber Dragon monster from the deck. Say a machine dupe target, a Cyber Dragon. You can get a monster that can be used with Inferno Reckless Summon as well. Then 3 copies of Cyber Dragon Hertz. I've only got 1 copy, as I said before, just using these OCG copies otherwise. This card is also really great because, like, you can recycle core from grave, you can search a Cyber Dragon, you can also chain block people when you discard this with Galaxy Soldier, so you can either choose to get the Soldier search by putting Soldier on chain on as the first effects trigger, or yeah. So yeah, then 2 copies of Cyber Dragon Veer. You can just summon this along with a Cyber Dragon, make an instant Cliffort Genius or Ziga, or like just another monster to make Mega Fleet and then go into Ziga or Cliffort Genius. So yeah, and then 1 copy of Cyber Dragon Dry. I don't feel this card is very necessary at any more than 1, and honestly when we get Cyberload Fusion in the next Legendary Duelist pack, I think I might actually cut this completely from the build. I don't feel it's necessary. It's very, like, summoning this and then chaining, using its effects and chaining the effects of Veer to make both of these level 5 when they hit the field is cute, but, like, I don't see it as an optimal play, to be honest. I'd much rather see any of these cards instead. Then, moving on to the non-Cyber Dragon stuff, although this should be an honorary Cyber Dragon at this point. 3 copies of Galaxy Soldier. This card is just too good not to run at 3. It helps you with all of your plays. It works incredibly nicely with Cyber Dragon Hertz. Makes your rank 5 plays like Pleiades, like Nova. So yeah. Then 2 copies of Jizukiru. It's weird because online I would be running Cyber Eltonin instead, and I do have my copy of Cyber Eltonin right here, but the problem I've been having, like, with the physical copy is that I keep on drawing it too much, so I'm running 2 Jizukiru instead. It still works very nicely to out, like, Goki, the Goki Nightmare board, so, or, well, in part anyway, so yeah. Outing the Trigate Wizard and all that. So that covers all the monsters. I've been testing this deck for quite a while, ever since the support actually got announced, so I've been refining this. So this has been quite refined at this point, and I'm quite happy with the ratios. Then, for the spells, 3 copies of Cyber Emergency. I keep calling it Emergency Cyber, which is the OCG name. This card is really good because this just gets you to core a lot quicker, and so that you can accelerate your plays a lot more. You can also search this with core to get a search for something else. Yeah, it's just really good. And you can search with Cyber Eltonin with this if you're running it as well. Then 3 copies of Cyber Rev System. This card is also really good because, yeah, like, I'm running this at 3 for reasons I'll explain later. I do often resolve more than one of these, and I don't often not like seeing it in my hands. So yeah, I think 3 is actually quite optimal for the card. So yeah, and then 2 copies of Cyber Repair Plant, because any more than 2 is a bit bricky, and it still searches Galaxy Soldier and it still recycles your stuff, and it still searches Jizukiru as well, but, like, Emergency Cyber is a lot better in my opinion, so that's why that's at 3 and this is at 2. Then, for the more combo-y cards, 3 copies of Machine Dupe, because you have 2 targets now, you should be running this at 3, just getting these out of the deck as quick as possible. Making your plays is just too good not to do. 3 copies of Instant Fusion, not Instant Fusion, 3 copies of Overload Fusion. I wish I had a 3rd ulti, but I don't, and that's really bugging me. This capitalizes on what's in your graveyard, the resources you've already used to make your board, and then makes Rampage Dragon, which is, yeah, just really good. Then 2 copies of Power Bond. I run this card because, I still run this, like, I did cut it at some point, but then I added it back in because I found it was a lot more of a power card in a simpler game state. And if you have a Hertz in hand, then you can do some really cool things with Rampage by chain blocking the Rampage's effect on summon effect to destroy back row, which is really good. But yeah, mainly just because it's a really good card in a simpler game state. Then 2 copies of Instant Fusion for your 1 copy of Panzer Dragon in the extra deck, just to extend your plays a little bit more, make a better board, and all of that. Then the reason I'm running 2 copies, more than 1 copy of Cyber Rev System, 2 copies of Inferno Reckless Summon. This card just works really nicely with Rev System because the condition of activating this card is your opponent having a face-up monster on the field, and you summoning a monster with less than 1500 attack. So if you summon back a Cyber Dragon Core or Hertz with this card with your Cyber Rev System, you can summon every single copy of Cyber Dragon from your deck and every single Cyber Dragon in your grave. And bearing in mind that not only are all of these Cyber Dragon monsters treated as Cyber Dragon in the graveyard, so is your Zygar as well, your Seeger as well. So this card is just too good. I've been considering bumping it up to 3, but I just can't find the space for it at the moment. Maybe if I cut a power bond for it. But yeah, I would obviously side this card out going first, but we generally want to go second with this deck, so yeah, 2 of this. Then, because hand traps hit every single hand trap in the meta hits this deck in some way, 2 copies of Called by the Grave. I was considering 3, but I really needed some more combo extenders in here, so 2 it is. Yeah, and then for the traps, I am only running 1 trap in the form of Cyber Overflow. This is here really for just in case we are made to go first before we side, before siding, so if the opponent also wins the die roll and they want to go second, then this is here. But also if we go second there and we have this in hand, we can set it, then make Rampage. We can pop this card with your Rampage Dragon and get a search for any Cyber Spell Trap card to just extend your plays even more. So yeah, so that rounds up the main deck. Total of 40 cards. Yeah, not much more to say about that. Moving on to the extra deck, 2 copies of Cyber Dragon Ziga. I really love this card at 2. Effectively, this does replace Power Bond. For the reasons I've explained before, I am still running 2 Power Bond. But yeah, this card is really good in tandem with your Cybernetic Rampage Dragon. The fact that this is a down and a sideways one, and the fact that this is also treated as a Cyber Dragon Field and Grave, means that you can revive this with Nova and still have a link pointer in the while this is in the main monster zone. It's very good, and I find myself always needing more than 1, so that's why there's 2 in here. Also, there's 1 copy of Cliffort Genius in here, just because this is also really good in tandem with things like Machine Duplication and Inferno Reckless Summon. This gets more searches, and because Cyber Dragons are basically just big vanillas once they've hit the field, you can use this card's effect to negate this and negate an opponent's card, and this card won't really care about that, but the opponent's monster might. So yeah, you can use that to bait out things like Odd Eyes Vortex or something if they haven't negated yet. Then 1 copy of Decode Talker, just because like if you find yourself needing to make something bigger or just an extra layer of protection, then this is definitely your card. Then I'm proxying this, but 1 copy of Borrowload. I don't have this card because I can't afford it, obviously, hoping that the Megatin reprints are very kind with the prices. But yeah, Borrowload is just really good because just like with Decode Talker, an extra layer of protection that your opponent can't chain to, also taking your opponent's monsters and just swinging for game with this thing is just insane, especially if you've got an Infinity on board and a Rampage on to boot. So yeah, that's the Link monsters. Then for the fusions, 2 copies of Cybernetic Rampage Dragon. This is your win condition. Like, I love this card so much, and it's definitely one of my favourite cards in this deck. Just attacking 3 times while either Power Bond boosted to 4200 or boosted by Ziga to 4200 is just too good, and also the back row removal. And the fact that this also can get you an indirect search for core. By ditching a copy of your core and a copy of your Hertz, you can get an indirect search for the core by using this card's effect to return this. Then for the other fusions, we are running 1 copy of Cybernetic Fortress, just in case we come across a machine matchup. If you go against Sky Striker, you can use that, because the extra deck monsters are machine, you don't have to waste a Mega Fleet on it, you can just make this instead, and then go from there. Then also, of course, 1 copy of Mega Fleet. I was considering running this at 2, but I much prefer this ratio. So yeah, 1 Mega Fleet just for the problematic extra deck monsters, and this also outs the extra link. So yeah, it's a very good card. Then 1 copy of Panzer Dragon as our instant fusion target. Then for the Xyz, the last bits of the deck, 2 copies of Cyber Dragon Infinity to go with our 2 copies of Cyber Dragon Nova. Just the Nova just has a really huge OTK potential, summoning and also summoning back everything. you can summon back Cyber Dragon Hertz or Core to also work very nicely with your Inferno Reckless summon or with a machine duplication. And Cyber Dragon Infinity is just a really good negation, and it also steals monsters as well. One copy of Pallades, because this is also a very good, works very nicely with Cyber Dragons. Just getting a bounce, and like an optimal first turn field would be something like Cliffort Genius, this, Infinity, and your Cybernetic Overflow with some Cyber Dragons in grave. So that rounds off the extra deck. I'm not doing a side deck because I personally haven't come up with one yet, and they're also very subjective to what kind of what kind of decks people in your local area run, or what's in the meta, so yeah. But yeah, that brings us to the end of the deck profile. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to suggest improvements and all of that, and don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe, and I shall catch you guys later. Peace out.